Okay, so this is going to be a Blackwargreymon OTK. The win condition is getting into this Blackwargreymon here. Honestly, the first time I read this card, I thought it was pretty trash, but I didn't realize that you can Digiburst over and over and over again to just keep swinging for all your opponent's security in one turn. So the goal in this deck is just to build up into this guy with the biggest possible stack, ton of Digivolution cards as fast as possible, and just swing for all 5 security as quick as possible. This deck is super aggro, just kind of streamlined, one way to win. You're not really going to be thinking about, oh, this is the best play, this is the best card in a ton of situations, unless you come up to situations where, you know, maybe you've got pieces that come up with a searcher that you have to make a choice, like, am I going to see this piece next, or for example your level 5s, which I guess we'll just go ahead and get into the Digimon. So from the low end, we've got the Coromon. It's the draw when attacking Coromon. This is the best one. A lot of people for Greymon decks nowadays will run the draw when you trash a security card Coromon, but for this deck specifically, a lot of times it'll come up, you need that draw before you actually deal the damage. So this Coromon is going to be the best card for this deck. Agumon, well, for our level 3s, we've got 12 different Agumons. I see some people kind of dip down to 11, 10 for this kind of deck, but we need the searching. So for Agumon, this one searches the top 4 of your deck for a Greymon card or a tie, and then also the Agumon X will search the top 3 for a Greymon in this deck. So as much searching as possible, get those necessary pieces. So on your low end, it doesn't really matter which Agumon that you set up in your breeding. It's just important that there's a stack on the top end that you're working towards. So in the early game, you're playing your Agumons over here, and then your Agumon X's to try to find those pieces early. Next, we're going to go into the Greymon, the level 4. So we've got 2 of the, I think this is BT5 as well. So BT5 Greymon. This one just gains a memory if you digivolve from a Agumon. This is super helpful if you are using the Agumon that digivolves for free. If you control a tie, just gain an extra memory. It provides a comeback potential for the deck to get into a Blackwargreymon kind of last second in the game and seal it out. But optimally, you want to see the EX1 Greymon every game. Every time you build your big Greymon stack, you need this guy for the core combo that this deck is going to try to do, which I'll explain. But this card, when attacking, inheritable effect, you get to play a 3-cost Tai Kamiya for free. And then from there, we've got our Greymon X's. Greymon X Antibody, the red one. This is just to add that extra draw power, have an extra Digivolution card to use with your Digiburst, get more attacks, swing per game faster. Greymon X Antibody, again, same thing, except this can let you get into your big combo even faster, reducing Digivolution cost by 2 on both your level 5s. And then finally we get into the level 5s, which is going to be Metal Greymon from the most recent EX set, EX9. This one is really important to run over the other options that give you security attack +1, because it also grabs a Digivolution card from the trash, giving you another option to trash for your Blackwargreymon. It also, you know, the delete effect can be pretty clutch as well. And then security attack +1 with this deck, where you can unsuspend, you know, sometimes 4 or 5 times. You can easily OTK your opponent with this card. And then you pretty much, both of these cards are non-negotiable when you build your stack. As you're thinking about how you're going to play the end game, you need to find both of your Metal Greymon options. So the next one's going to be Metal Greymon Alterius mode, another really clutch delete an 8k or less Digimon on Digivolution, and then also it has a really good effect when you play a Tai Kamiya. You can Digivolve for free into a card with Greymon in its name. So this is going to let you get into your Blackwargreymon for free. So the combo that I was alluding to is you swing with your Greymon Alterius mode. This Greymon Inheritable will activate. You'll play a Taikamiya for free. That'll let you Digivolve into Blackwargreymon for free. And then you have this Blackwargreymon with just a billion Digivolution cards, and you swing for game. So that's kind of the core concept of the deck. And so before I get to the Death X's over here, I'm actually going to shift gears to the Tamers and option cards.
Load-bearing Death X, right?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, he's here because there's not much better options, and sometimes you just need to buy that extra turn to, like, say you have this guy in the breeding and your opponent just has a billion cards. Like, you play your Death X, kill a bunch of stuff, and like make them stall out, and then next turn promote your Agumon and just perform your combo. So we've got the 4 Garnet Memory Boost. This is like necessary, non-optional, just because your top end specifically is a black only card, so your red memory boosts aren't going to hit this. So seeing one less card is kind of better in this deck, because like I had said in the beginning of the video, sometimes you'll see both of these, and like I said, they're non-optional. You have to get both of them pretty much if you're going to swing for an OTK turn. So sometimes seeing one less card can actually be beneficial, so you don't see 2 must-have cards in the same reveal. I have 2 red memory boosts in here. This is kind of like a free slot. If, say, you're seeing your pieces more often than I do typically, you can switch this out. I think Agumon Bond of Bravery is a great card in this deck. Maybe Blackwargreymon X's or Gaiomon that can Digivolve off of your Blackwargreymons. Those are decent additions, but for me, I just want the draw power. I want to get into the Blackwargreymon as fast as possible. This card searches the must-have pieces to win the game, so I'm going to stick with these 2 for now. Another option is the Agumon that it has no inheritable. You just play it, and it looks at the top 3 of your deck, and you can grab a Greymon or Omnimon card. That card's pretty decent in the slot too, but with your memory boosts, if as long as you have 2 memory and a memory boost in play, and you are in a Greymon in the back, or you have your Agumon that can Digivolve into Greymon for free, you will always be able to get into Metal Greymon, into Greymon Alterius mode, and then Digivolve for free into Blackwargreymon. So as long as you're set up with these 2 cards, pretty much 2 memory, or one of these Tamers in play, say your opponent hit you with security, you played a Tamer, you're always going to be able to get into that Blackwargreymon with one of these in play. Then you get to your Tamers, you got your Taikamiyas. These are just your best 3-cost options for these 2 cards to combo into your Blackwargreymon. This one's pretty good sometimes if you're not quite seeing all your pieces as much as you'd like to. You can promote a little early, aggressively, and kind of hope to sack into the right card, where this card is just optimal. It's, on play, it's going to give you an extra 1k DP to protect your Blackwargreymon from getting destroyed by security effects and being blocked. And then also, it gives you blocker. Sometimes that comes up if you just don't have enough gas to seal the game. You can kind of just unsuspend and, all right, I'm really big now. You can't, hopefully you can't get around me. And then, extra memory, of course, is always appreciated. In this deck, I played this a lot on DC Go in person now, and for me, the searching is really, really, really important. You could probably alter some of the ratios, but like this here, I think this is like almost, it's like solved, at least in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong there, but this core here is great, and then you can take these 4 cards, and this is like where your player taste might come into play. But like how important it is to see the right cards early in this deck, especially being an aggressive deck. You just need as much searching as possible. I would say those are like, you have to do it, and then here, you can run 2 Blackwargreymon X's and Agumon Bond of Braveries, or, maybe there's some other card I'm not thinking of, more Greymons, more Agumons, whatever that might look like for you. But this deck is pretty consistent. It surprised me. Somebody brought this deck up to me when I was playing like a way worse Gaiomon deck, and in my testing, I mean, it has its moments where you just brick up and don't play, but it also has those games where it's turn 2 and you're swinging for like 10 security. It's insane. So it's a fun aggressive deck if you enjoy aggressive playstyles like that. And that's all I got.
All right, thanks very much, and we'll talk to you next time.